Alrighty, so parcel through the post today. It is my new sounder, which I am going from a Lowrance to a Humminbird. Why? Because I'm in need of an update, and I really liked the look of the Humminbird's maps. They looked unreal, so I've got the maps that come with that. And from my current sounder that I just had, it was a HDS7 from Lowrance, and I really struggled to actually see the side scan for when I was using side scan for bream and those estuary species. Even when I wasn't using it for that, I was still struggling to see what was a fish and stuff. I don't know whether it was probably my settings, because at one point I was working it out really good and then I've muddled it all up completely, but it's time for an update really is the main reason. I've had that other one for a few years now, and we have went with this big sucker. I'm going from a 7-inch to a 9-inch. So that's it there, the Helix 9. So the Helix 9, so we'll do a bit of an unboxing, have a look and see what's on the inside. And then when it's a bit better weather, I'll go outside and install the thing. Alright, here we go, which way is that going to come out? This is the one I was looking at. Coastmaster, Australia. I reckon they are going to look absolutely unreal. Alright. That's everything. So, what we've got here, some wires. Transducer. It's actually smaller than I thought it was going to be. It's not bad. So that's our transducer, and I'm going to say that is our power. Maybe. Some brackets and mounts, which I shouldn't need because it's not going on the boat, it is going on the kayak. Ooh, that's a nice sturdy. That feels nice and sturdy. Not plastic. That's no flex. That's the bracket. That feels unreal. Sturdy as. That'll be great. And then here we've got the sounder itself. Actually, chunky on that. The new Humminbird Helix 9. That looks fresh as. So that's it there. That's a nice cover, that feels awesome. Oh, flexy rubbery bits on there. Let's have a look at the screen. A lot fresher than my screen. Alright, you see the camera in that. Yeah. That is fresh. So what I also bought, I also grabbed a Burley Pro screen visor. I think that's what they are. Anyway, so I've grabbed that to protect the screen a bit more from the weather, and also my Burley Pro transducer mount for underneath the kayak cover to protect the transducer from all those brutal bashings I give it. So that, I took the old one off. It was still pretty scratched up on the bottom, but the transducer was still in good nick, so these are real good for your transducers to protect them underneath your kayak, especially if they don't pop up like some of them do underneath the kayak. So that there is what I've got. So that there is our new Helix 9, which we will be hopefully installing sometime this week during the week after work, so I can get out for a fish on the weekend coming up, hopefully. But yeah, so that's the unboxing. We will hopefully get out for a crack soon because it looks nice. Alrighty, so we're going to do the wiring up inside because it is windy outside. But I did end up actually having to go from 3 amp fuse to 5 amp because that is what is recommended for this sounder. And so all we're going to do, I might need one of these, an extra one of those for crimping, because I'm going to go to that on each side and then to that as well, so I should need 3. But so yeah, what we'll do is we'll start off by getting this one hooked up to that and that to a point, because I might have to duck out and grab another piece. So we'll have that rigged up to that, and then that end we'll rig up to our one that goes to the battery. Heaps of wires in that sucker. Alright, so I've got that in there. I've got to crimp that now, which I've got a crimper right here. Cool. Grab our other one. He's in there. Like that. Like that. We can cover that up. I've just got that other one there just to tighten it a bit more, but I'll end up running some electrical tape around it anyway. And then all I want to do is start shrinking it down. Don't want to burn it though. Start to take shape there. Wait, flamethrower still that was. Get this nice little piece down here. I need that to shrink into that one. Oh, it's hot. It's getting hot. That's pretty. And then what I do is I get that to pretty much tight. Sometimes the ends don't get quite tight because you've got the bit of a piece. Where is he? Ow! Jesus Christ, that's hot. That'll be alright. And then I'll put some electrical tape around that, like this, just to add a little bit more of protection, really. Lower that one over that and that, and we'll shove that one in there. That's right, black to black. Up there, which is in there somewhere like that. And that's good enough for me, because I'm just going to end up taping that anyway. So I'll tape them both together there. And then, yeah. So I'll just start going that way, yep. Like that. just like that. And that's coming along pretty neat for my liking. So we just need to connect this red one to that red one. We can open up one of these fuses, 5 amp fuse, pop one of those out of there. It just goes in there, like that. Cap that on. Now that's a weatherproof cap, that one. As you see that, weatherproof, so it's pretty. It'll be pretty watertight, but you just always got to make sure that that's still closed before use. And so that's pretty much it. Once I connect that one back to there, with another piece, which I'll need one of those again, which I'll have to dig out from somewhere. Okay. Show us those. Alright, so we just had to get some of those. I wasn't sure which size, so I've went and got both sizes for 3mm wire and 4mm wire, and we're going to be running that one because it fits on this one, which is a little bit wider than our other one there. So we're just going to put those in there and crimp them together. Oh, hang on, we're going to put a sleeve over that first. I'm going to slide that one over there, and all the way down there first, and that way we can still crimp it together, which will be fine on that there, I'm going to say. Little light tug, they're both there. Now we can get our sleeve, and hopefully that should roll across over all that, which it is. Just got easier if you straighten it up and then go for it. Something like that. I'll stop that one there. I'll just plug it in. I've got my battery here. I'll just do that and plug this into my sounder, which I've got sitting over here, which goes on that one there. And if this turns on, we're all working. Which it does, so it's good to know that that works. We will now put some tape around that, as long as it's cool enough. Alrighty, so unfortunately the camera did actually run flat during that, but this is the end setup we've ended up with here. So we've actually ended up taping that together through there, and it's all running through nicely. We have given it a little test run just to see if the power gets through to the sounder, and it does that just fine. So now we're going to go out and install it into the kayak. Alright, so the power one we are going to bring up through there, so we'll unscrew that, and that's my ball mount there, which my sounder will go onto that and have its little mount bit coming up off there. So to get our power, I'm coming through, so to get our power, I'll thread my power wire from there through to this hatch here, which is quite easy. So we've got that bit through, and now we need to get our transducer cord through there as well. So we've got our transducer here, which we have to poke through from underneath. So then our transducer's underneath, of course, going up in. So it's going to sit under there. There's a hole up in there where we're going to thread our wire, and it's going to come up. It's going to come up through there, and we're going to poke it through there. Then we can reach it in the back hole here, where most of the wires will end up sitting, and then we'll have to feed that other one that goes to our sander down the side and peep it through this hole here. So we've got our wire threaded up through there, so we can just pull that all the way through until we've got that up there. So what we do have to do before we pull all of that all the way through, we have to put our transducer into our Burley Pro protective cover, which will go, you'll see how we do that in a second. But to do this, you will need screws that come in with the transducer itself, which are these ones here, which are going to those 6 there, into the top of the transducer, like that, and then that will go in there, and that will get screwed up underneath the kayak. We'll just put 2 screws in and double check that now. That should be that. That should sit that. That's more like it. Alright. Alright, so it goes that way. So then it sits down and doesn't hit that bottom bit there. Alright, so now we can put this up like this, and so that's that. Nice. Okay. We've got 1 screw. These are just existing screws from your Hobie, which are always. If you can get a second hand, I would recommend it, just for this part. Sturdy as. So there's our transducer cover. Nice big and bulky. Alright. Now the next thing, we've got to get our wire through that hole and screw this weird screwy piece on, which is actually quite the reach. You've got shorter arms like me, and then feed it all the way through out here where we can fix that back on and then attach our sounder there. Alright, let's do that. That's our little tie, so that's going that way, which is that way, which means that has to go that way. As soon as you don't lose it down the hole, you'll be right. that. That easy for that part. I'm gonna keep that one up there. That's alright like that. And that's gonna sit there, actually not too bad. And then we want that piece with that one. So we're going to put that one on, and our wires are going to go through that. That's going to go up in there, and that'll seal up the wire hole. We do have a little rubber ring which will be pressed around the bottom of that edge there to stop any water getting in. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to put our little rubbery piece on first. So I've got that all sitting there, so that's a little rubber ring as well. And then we've got that one which will get screwed in from inside, and there's our little, don't know if you can, there we go, and that's our little rubber that's in between, and that'll all tighten up nicely. So what I need to do is get that one through those pointier bits have to stick down, so that's what you use. So you go in like that. I'll hold it that way, just like that. We'll just thread that on all the way until we're inside the kayak, and that's our thread for on. That's our little screw piece for on our thread. So this is the hard part. Yep, that's it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stick that wire that's sticking out. I'll wait for that car. So that wire that I've got coming out of this back hole here, I'm going to thread that all the way back down to where my sounder is going to be. Oh, I've got a big tingle around myself. And so that'll pop up through down there quite nicely, I think. Which you can also reach in here, which is what we'll try and do for that. That's got it. Always takes a bit of time getting this stuff sorted. How much of that do we want? Enough to get to the cylinder. If it's out the back there, something like that would be fine. Alright, as you can see, got it all in there. Everything's all neat and tidy. Alright, so this is our bracket which holds our sounder on, as you can see. And we're going to attach that to there so then we can attach it to the kayak. So what we'll do is we'll take that one off there, And we're simply just going to screw through like that. There's some holes there that line up perfectly. Like so. Wrong hole. These are just the bits we had on it on the old one, and we're fine with that. Like that, and that will sit on our ball mount, like so. So that's pretty much it there. Alright, so that's how we set up the new Humminbird sounder and wire it into the kayak. Now we'll go out on the water and you'll see us going for a fish with it, using it for the first time, and we'll let you know how we go and what we think our first impressions are of it. So, and maybe a little bit of comparison between that and the HDS7 that I had as well previously. So we'll see how we go, see if we can get some nice weather so we can get out, and I'll see you on the water. See ya. There's a snag in the water here. We're just gonna go right over to it and get it on the sounder. This shows what it'll look like. So here it is here. That should be starting to pop up on the sand about now. And look at that. Now that's a tree if ever I've seen one. That's the down skin of it. That's bloody unreal. So there you have it. Didn't even look like there was any fish on that. No fish on there at all. By the looks of it.